Hey guys, welcome to Kay's Corner, where positive energy transforms lives. Join me on a journey of empowerment and embrace your full potential. So a little bit about me. Hi, my name is Kay, and I'm currently a therapist and a life coach. And this channel will really be mostly about how positivity, how discipline, how emotions all play a big role in success. And when I mean success, I literally mean success in any goal, big or small. Your attitude plays a big role in that as well. I see this pattern in many people. I have success stories of people who can transform their ways of thinking into positive, no matter how negative they might feel, whether it is depression, whether it is anxiety. I notice that it does not matter what it is. Changing your way of thinking is paramount to healing, to success, towards any desire that you might possibly want. So today's topic is just that: how I have brought healing to my own body, to my own mental health, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, all these things you could have in abundance, right? You could have joy, you could have happiness, you could have healing, all by the tips that I will be sharing on this YouTube channel. And it's always very simple. I'll give you tip after tip, story after story to help you achieve your desires. Okay, so stay tuned. So let's talk about positivity. So positivity is something that people might think is easy, but it's actually extremely hard to do. I don't like to say that, but it is a discipline. You need to be able to have an exercise discipline when you are maintaining positivity. Why? Because as humans, we are emotional beings. So sometimes we attach emotions to circumstances and situations, and that is why it is sometimes very difficult for someone to see the positive light in any situation. And in a way, we're kind of wired this way. We are pretty much wired to learn from negative experience opposed to positive. And this is why, like, anytime you can do 100 nice things for someone, but they'll always remember that negative thing that you did. They could remember that one time you said no, but they don't remember any of the times you said yes. So the reason why is because our brains really have not evolved since we lived in caves. And so we need to be able to learn from negative experiences. That's really what they're there for. So like when we were living in caves and stuff like that, or out in the wilderness, we needed to learn from, if that fire was hot, it might potentially be dangerous. It could hurt you. And if you get burned, then okay, that heat, that fire, I can learn from. But the positive thing about that same fire is that same fire can keep you warm. So that is the analogy that I want you guys to think about. That thing that was negative, that burnt you, that, put flames to whatever it is that you desire, also teaches you that it could also keep you warm. You can learn from it. So this is very important to learn. And even in that analogy, you could always flip it to something positive. So yeah, the same fire that can burn you is the same fire that can keep you warm. So that same thing that was negative, that impacted you, you could learn from. And that is the power of positivity, taking every negative experience and trying to flip it. Okay. And I will talk about the impact of that positivity in this video. So the way positivity can impact you is paramount. And the reason why is because the laws of the universe. And we could probably get into that in another video where I could explain why the laws of the universe is very important. And so for this particular law that I am talking about is the law of polarity. And the way I like to explain this is like there are two polars, right? Everything has its opposite. Everything has it's negative and it's positive. So let's say that this negative is depression and this positive over here is happiness, okay? The law of polarity says the closer you are to one, the farther you are to the other. The closer you are to one, the more you repel the other. So if you do not accept love in your life, if you don't accept the good things in your life, you will repel that and come closer to the other side of that, which is depression. Or if we're talking about love, then it's hate. If we're talking about light, then it's darkness, okay? So these are the things that I want people to keep in mind when we are talking about positivity and negativity, right? The closer you are to positivity, the more you repel the negative. And that is why remaining positive and not dwelling in the negative is pinnacle for you, okay? Because it's easy to get stuck in the past. It's easy to get stuck in that way of thinking, victim mentality, all of that, right? So diving kind of into that, we kind of look at this analogy even in the Bible, right? When Lot and his wife were told by an angel, I'm going to lead you out of the city, right? But never look back. And what did Lot's wife do? She looked back and became a pillar of salt. So if we could take that analogy and we can take that state of consciousness, you'll see that for the most part, if you look back at that situation that causes regret, guilt, resent, hate, right? You stay there. You stay there. You can't really be mindful. You can't enjoy the present, and you can't even see the positivity that the future brings. So that is why you stay there. That is you becoming the pillar of salt. We see this again in the same book, right? Where Moses is trying to lead the people out of Egypt. What happens? A journey that could have been short ended up prolonging itself for 40 years. Why? Well, if you see in the book of Genesis, the people of Israel, right? The slaves that were coming out of Egypt, all they did was complain and murmur and complain and murmur to the point where they're just like, we should have just stayed in Egypt as slaves, almost showing that ungratefulness when really there was a gift ahead of them, which is the land of milk and honey. Sometimes we don't see that because we're complaining, because we're stuck in the negative, because we looked back. And oftentimes the consequence that you have to pay, the currency that you have to pay, is an emotional distress. So we see a lot of depression and anxiety. Why? Because we tend to magnify and zoom in on the little part of the picture where we focus on lack, where we focus on what we don't have, we focus on the negative. When if you zoom out of that picture, you see the bigger picture, right? That phrase, look at the big picture. Look at the bigger picture and see how that can impact you, right? See how, okay, this is just a little moment in my life, a little glimpse of my life. It's not forever. And a lot of people tend to get stuck in that and making it forever, talking about the 40 years in the desert. You make it feel like it's forever because you start to lose focus of that positivity that's coming, right? Anticipation is caused by faith. Okay, so if you have faith and you're hopeful, you are excited, you're anticipated, right? If I tell you this Friday I'm going to give you $10 million, you are excited for Friday. That is anticipation. That is because you have faith that I'm going to keep my word and give you that money. But oftentimes, a lot of people don't have that, and they have the opposite, which is doubt. Doubt is caused by, doubt causes anxiety. Doubt causes fear. It causes worry. And usually it's fear of the unknown. What's going to happen? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I don't? What if I can't? Right? And we get stuck in that. And what happens? We pay. We pay with this currency, and we pay emotionally and mentally. And so when we don't have faith, when we don't exercise, when we don't remain hopeful, when we start talking death into our desires, meaning if I say, oh, I want this car, oh, but I can't afford it, that's speaking death to it. Okay? But if you say, one day I'll have that car, that's speaking life into it, into your desire. Okay? And in this video, I'll talk a little bit about this same stuff with my own life and how it has impacted me and how it impacts the people that I either treat or coach. So all that to say, this is how you manifest. Okay, this is how you manifest. Your words are more powerful than you really think, can even possibly imagine. Okay, going back to the Bible, God compares himself to a word. Okay, now I'm not a religious person, but I read text, I read books. Okay, and the Bible happens to be a very interesting one. And we see this in other books, but I'm going to choose a book that everybody kind of knows about or has heard about. So God compares himself to a word. And if God compares himself to a word, right? If you think of who God is, what God represents, it's pretty much a powerful deity. Okay, so if God is comparing himself to a word, then how powerful do you think words really are? How powerful is the meaning of the words? Okay, and it says your body is the temple of God, right? So where is God really? God is in the subconscious mind. Okay, so your subconscious mind has a lot of power. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a joke, a lie, or the truth. So whatever you tell yourself and you believe it, then it shall be. Why? Because God is in you. And God is the word. Okay, that's why words are the double-edged sword. You could use it for good or you could use it for curse. Okay? So manifestation, how could we use manifestation? How could we use our words, our powerful words, to obtain and grasp our desires? Well, you affirm them. You affirm them as often as possible. The best time to affirm them is when you're in a state akin to sleep, where you're in a state where you're not sleeping, but you're not awake. Okay? You could still you're in that mist, you're in that fog. that is when your subconscious mind is most susceptible to your affirmations, which in this video I will call them auto suggestions. So when you're in this state, it is very important to proclaim your desire as if it already is happening. So what I would do is I would say, thank you. Thank you for health. Thank you for abundance. Something very, very simple. Thank you for wealth. Okay? Anything that you desire, you claim that. And I'm not going to say, in the name of Jesus or anything like that. I'm just saying you give thanks for that desire. Thank you for wealth. Thank you for abundance. Thank you for health. Okay? Very, very important. And so now I will tell you guys how I was able to essentially cure my own body. Okay? For a little while, I had struggled with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is PCOS. And I had actually battled it I had battled this for about 15 years. It was a couple years after puberty. So during my pubescent period, I began to gain weight and all of the symptoms that you get with PCOS, like down to like the book, whatever it says in the book, that is what I got. And it was so obvious. And I did blood work, confirmed I had PCOS. And I didn't start to take it serious up until about 2 years ago. And I used to see a couple of things online about how other people can treat it. And for the most part, my doctors said that it wasn't really necessarily curable. You can treat it with metformin or other things, other remedies, dieting, etc. But for the most part, it could just kind of be controlled. Now, my story is not unique to the next person on TikTok or the next person on YouTube, right? I took my vitamins, lost weight, continued to exercise, continued to eat a gluten-free, dairy-free diet, took a little bit of ovocidal. So those are some of the things that have, I believe, definitely helped me. But one thing I can say is I never accepted the diagnosis. Okay? Why? Because I do not accept death into my health. I don't accept anything that is contrary to my desire. So my desire is optimal health. I don't accept anything outside of that. Okay? So this is important because when you take in someone's heterosuggestion, so earlier I said autosuggestion, which is what you tell yourself, right? Your affirmations, right? Heterosuggestions are what I call other people's beliefs that you adopt, right? And they're other people's beliefs. So the doctor came to me and said, hey, these are the results, okay? I could have said, oh my God, this is what I have, and so on and so forth. I could have fell into a depression or anxiety or whatever it was, but I didn't accept it. I said, oh, how do you get rid of it? And my doctor was like, well, you can do this, this, and that, but, this is kind of like something that's going to be treated for a very long time. And I'm just like, no. And again, I didn't take it serious. It wasn't until about 2 years that I was like, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Like, I never really claimed it anyway, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And lo and behold, I had gotten blood work done. And if I didn't tell my new doctor, my current primary care physician, if I didn't tell her that I had PCOS, she said she would have never known because all of my blood work was optimal. But I would, aside from doing what I needed to do, I told myself all the time in meditation, I have perfect health. Thank you for my perfect health. Thank you for my perfect health. Okay. And I got rid of it. Not only did I get rid of it, but something that was difficult, which was losing weight for me at least, I began to lose weight. In fact, I lost about 30 pounds without exercise. But I would tell myself in the mirror every day, thank you for my weight loss. Thank you for my optimal health. Okay. Obviously, I started working out and started kind of taking it more serious with the workouts and with the dieting. And I continued to lose weight. But for my first about 20 to 25 pounds, it wasn't so much of my diet and it wasn't that much of my exercise. It was a lot of meditation. I continue to meditate. I continue to try to reach my goal all the time. And I know I tell myself I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get healthier by losing weight. So I'm always speaking health into my body. So if you tell yourself this is what's going, if you tell yourself this apple juice is going to give me energy, you're going to put in that auto citrus. And obviously this is very mediocre, but you can tell yourself that you have the power. Like whatever you're telling yourself, that's what's going to happen. And this is what I'm saying. You're going to speak things into existence. If you say, I can't, you won't. Okay? If you say, I can't do this, or that'll never happen for me, it won't. It won't. In some way, somehow, your powerful subconscious mind will not make that happen. Words are very powerful. Stop saying, oh, this is killing me. Oh, the subconscious mind will find a way to make that thing that you said is killing you, every time that thing happens, something in your body is going to start to deplete. Words are powerful, okay? If you don't believe me, then give it a try, okay? So that's one. So people might say, oh, PCOS can, a lot of people get rid of their PCOS just by exercising, eating a certain diet. Cool. I have another story. And this is how I got rid of my vitiligo and pityriasis alba. And during the next clip, I'll show you how my face was. And obviously you can see how my face is today. And as you could see, what started off on my chin ended up spreading throughout my face, and that's it. So as you saw in the video, in the clip, it was starting to get very severe. It had started right here, a little spot, and it was a mixture, according to my dermatologist, a mixture of vitiligo and pityriasis alba, which is, as you see, hypopigmentation. And again, with manifestation and using my words, I would look in the mirror every day, right? He was giving me just a little background. He was giving me steroids, a topical cream. I forget what it's called, but I'll remember soon once the video is done, probably. But he gave me a topical cream, hydrocortisone or something like that. And yeah, hydrocortisone, I think. It was a steroid that he gave me, a topical cream. And of course, as you guys know, vitiligo doesn't necessarily have a cure. It just can be treated. But I didn't accept that diagnosis. And I didn't accept it despite it was getting worse and worse. Again, it started right here as a little spot, and it got all over my face, as you saw in the clip. And I would look in the mirror every day and I'd be like, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. This is going to go away. Go in the sun, take vitamin D, and it'll go away. That's all I told myself. I stopped taking the topical cream. I'm like, if this isn't going to cure me, I don't care. I said almost every day, especially in the summer times, I would go out in the sun. I'd be like, the sun is going to get rid of this, and I'm going to just take vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. And even though it got worse, I didn't care. I kept telling myself it's going to go away. And lo and behold, it's gone. So this is the power of your words, the power of manifestation, the power of getting into that state kin to sleep and affirming your desire, not asking, not pleading. You never put yourself in a place where you're begging or asking a deity outside of yourself. All you're doing is declaring, not asking, declaring your desire. Thank you for optimal health. Thank you for perfect skin. Thank you for whatever it is that you want. Abundance, wealth, all of the above. Okay? And I always tell people, don't be a slave to your five senses. It's easy to believe in what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. It's easy, whatever. You see it, of course you could believe it, right? Faith is what you can't see, okay? And when you are thankful for that thing, for that desire, you have to attach an emotion to it. So what would I do? I would be excited. I'd be like, I can't wait till I see my skin clear up. I can't wait until I lose weight. I can't wait until this PCOS is gone, right? Can't wait. And I attach excitement into my desire, or with my affirmation. So whatever my affirmation was, I attached a positive emotion to it. That is the key. You have to add your positive emotion to that desire, to that affirmation. You can't say, I have this diagnosis, and then weep and then have anxiety because now you've made it more real. Okay? You always do the opposite. Speak life into your skin, into your hair, into your body, into your finances, into anything. Okay? You have to speak that. Speak unto the dry bones. Okay? So I hope this helped you guys a little bit. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I will be on here telling you guys more of my stories, more testimonies, and more ways on how to use this to your advantage. Okay? Again, unlock your full potential, embrace it, and we are here to empower each other. Positivity is so important. It's easy to get sucked into the negativity. I mean, look at what's happening around the world. Let's stick together and just vibrate high vibrations. Until next time, bye. Testing 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2. Testing 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 1 2.